Hi blog buddies! Decided to finally do an update. I know I said I would do one like weekly back a month ago. I fail. Few new things. First of all, you probably can't tell, but it's 10 o'clock at night right now. 10:15. But I got new lamps, so I now have real lighting. Yay! It actually kind of glows around my head. Oh, that's weird. That topic's done. I'm using Post-its. Next topic. Today is June 1st. Yesterday was May 31st. In case you don't know how to read a calendar. Anyway, so with yesterday being May 31st, and me being in New York, take a guess at what the temperature was. I'll tell ya. Apparently, it was somewhere between 90 degrees and 102 degrees. I looked it up on weatherchannel.com or whatever, and it said 90 degrees. But a friend on Facebook, reported that it was 102 degrees. So, whatever, it was hot. So that brings us to our next topic. Sunbathing. Fat versus skinny. Now, I'm a big girl. Well, you can tell in the videos. But I'm a bigger girl. I don't want to be a bigger girl, but there's nothing. I mean, I can do stuff. I have a gym in the basement. But my bigger problem is food. And I don't want to eat icky food. And healthy stuff tastes icky. I'm not ready to grow up yet. It's like Peter Pan. Anyway, so fat versus skinny in a bathing suit. Well, not in a bathing suit, sunbathing. I went out and sunbathed at noon yesterday. Got a nice little tan, which you really can't tell unless you actually compare my white skin versus my tan skin. Even then, it's not that big of a difference. Because I only spent 30 minutes on my front side and like 20 on my back. Or tanning my back. 30 tanning my front. Anyway, so as I went out there in a bathing suit. A tankini because I don't want to show off my stomach. But not that it matters. I was home alone and I was sunbathing. Ooh, big whoop. But I went outside and I covered myself. I wore the tankini. It was the bottoms had like a little skirt over top, and then the top went down to the top of the bottoms. Confusing. But then once I laid the sheet out, when I got out, put the towel under my head, I rolled up the bathing suit top, there we go, and I pulled the straps off my arms, because who wants a tan line? Ugh. Especially if I was intentionally sunbathing. I mean, if I were out there working and then ended up with one, whatever. When I'm planning on sunbathing, that's really not the goal. So I was out there, and I was like, I really couldn't just walk out here topless. Because of the whole idea of fat versus skinny. That and my neighbor's like really conservative Mormon. So that wouldn't be a good plan. But yeah, so I went outside, and when I rolled over onto my back, actually, I did take my top off and laid right down, just that my nopples weren't showing. But yeah, but I was thinking, I was like, wait a second, if I wanted to lay topless out here, and what about my pants? What if I want a tan butt? Who doesn't want a tan ass? Come on now. So I mean, I couldn't go out there and take those off because my yard isn't fenced in, and there are these societal norms. And even skinny people can't get away with that. They can't get away with going around topless or especially pantsless. Unless it's in very, very strict privacy. And do you think that's wrong of our society? Do you think we should be a little bit looser? A little bit more loose, since looser's not a word. I mean, think about it. In France, there are like all sorts of nude beaches and shit. But here we have to go to like nude campgrounds to find the nudity. Not that I'm like I don't know. I'm not uncomfortable by nudity, but I'm not fully comfortable, and I think we need to, part of it is because of how I've been raised in this society, that, I mean, oh, that's your hoo-ha, oh, that's your tatas, cover them up, and that's stupid, in my opinion. Plus, moving on to the fat versus skinny, if fat people wanted to go out in a bikini, well, first of all, I saw a chubby little girl the other day, and it wasn't cute, because she was wearing a bikini, which I work in a clothing store, and that's like all we sell for little, like, 2 to 6 year olds, which is gross. What parent wants to dress their 3-year-old in a bikini? One that wants to have their child picked up and, ugh, ridiculous. But, yeah, like, you can't flaunt your body, and it's even kind of frowned upon in your own house, at your own yard, or whatever. So, that's that topic. Now on to my actual life. Although that's all been about my life. It's summer. It's June. I mean, obviously, oh my gosh, I'm like repeating myself. But normally I have a second job starting up, or actually only last year I did. But this summer, I don't. This summer I am stuck with no job / one job because one of my jobs got canceled because the funding was cut, and now I understand how some people are unemployed because they lose their jobs. And this is something where I learned in my economics class. I don't count as unemployed because I'm still working a part-time, even though I don't want to work part-time. I want to have a full-time job. Actually, last summer I worked a minimum of 56 hours a week, plus I did a show. And yet there are people sitting on their asses that don't want to work. And I know some people don't want to work lesser jobs, but I know there are people out there that don't want to work. They want to just mooch off the system, mooch off their girlfriends, the families, everything. And that pisses me off. I know that because that's my aunt's boyfriend. But yeah, so no job / one job. I have to figure out a new one. Now that I'm going into like 8 minutes. My last topic were auditions. I auditioned for a show yesterday. Shows Robin Hood, the courtship of Alan, I don't remember the last name. Anyway, he is the musician player for Robin Hood or whatever. He's, I guess, apparently the only one that can actually be traced in history. Other than that, Robin Hood and the rest of the gang didn't really exist. Anyway, so, maybe he was. I don't remember. I just heard about this yesterday. So, I auditioned because I only have the one job, plus last summer, as much as I was really bitchy and nasty, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. And this year, I really don't care if I get a big role. I really kind of don't want a big role. Mostly because I hate learning lines and it's a pain in the ass. But, whatever. I auditioned for the show. I actually had to go back for a callback today because yesterday I read the dude part because there were more chicks than dudes. Today I read the chick part. The funny part was the chick part had to be like really bubbly, out there, hippie-ish, dumb. Which I guess I can do because sometimes I do act really dumb. Guilty. But yeah. I know that the clocks are, YouTube doesn't have them strict, but whatever. But yeah, I auditioned for the show. I went back today for a second reading. Tomorrow the cast list is posted. Either way, sounds like it's going to be a fun summer. I gotta find a second job. Actually, just up the road they're putting in another Denny's. And Denny's, because they used to have a Denny's and then it disappeared because there wasn't enough, whatever. Anyway, they're putting in a Denny's, which I don't know how many of you know what a Denny's is, but it's good. And honestly, that sounds like a good job for me. I'll be a hostess. Make some money. Not really much, but maybe I can put them together and have some money. But I think I've talked your ears off long enough. Just a little update, you know, the usual. Still waiting to hear some topics, because it's fun. So yeah. Bye, Black Buddies.